Tough loss against the Buffalo Bills. 2-4. This season is whoa. Is that a shiny new toy? What? Is there another shiny new toy? What's going on? All these new things that got people feeling different ways. The New York Jets never cease to create headlines. Are they going to result in wins? Well, I guess that's why we're having this show. Stay tuned after the intro. Boy Green meets Wudi.
Can you guys help us get a jet chant here? Going.
Oh.
Okay, come on in. Let's go. Okay.
Third Party Thursday.
Rich joining us here on the program with a capital T here on the program.
Wow, what an intro, dude. Boy Green is known for having the intro, but Wudi, that was unreal, man. Thanks for the kind words.
We are men of many names.
My favorite Austrian Jets fan right there, baby.
Boy Green.
It's Wudi. Welcome to another episode of Boy Green Meets Wudi. It is your boy, James Wudi. I am Wudi, rocking everywhere, a.k.a. the Wudinator. All right, let's go over to Green Mania, the boy that became king, Mr. Paul Essen Jr. How you doing?
Oh, boy. How am I doing? What an interesting question. What an interesting question it is. If I could channel it in how I'm doing, there's a few things that come to mind. Yeah, I'm fired up, Wudi. That's safe to say. We just got Davante friggin' Adams, baby, and there's Mike Williams trade rumors now. There's Hassan Reddick trade rumors. Just kidding, he wants to stay. No, wait, he wants to leave. I have no idea, but boy, the big news of the day, I was live on the radio. I don't know what it is with Tuesdays, but it's been 2 Tuesdays in a row. I've been on the radio. Around 10:05 is when I found out that Robert Sala was fired. I was live on my radio station in Syracuse. I was like, whoa, craziness ensued for the next 2 hours. Today, I don't see the news myself first on social media. We have a fan that texted into the show and said, check Ian Rappaport in all caps. And I went, no way. And then I looked and I saw Davante Adams' face, and I had to make sure, because do you want to got and say Davante Adams was traded to some other team? And then I would have, that would have killed me. So I didn't want to just like, woohoo, on the radio. I saw Davante Adams' face. I went, yeah, sure, yeah, Davante. The Jets, yeah, yes. And then I lost my crap. So lost my bananas, as one would say. So yeah, I'm pretty litty, man. It sucks to lose last night for obvious reasons. Jets could have had first place in the AFC East. They blew so many opportunities. They're terrible in the red zone. They missed field goals. Penalties all over the place. All hell broke loose. But somehow the magical elixir that is known as Davante Adams, and seeing him pop on with Pat McAfee, Aaron Rodgers was doing his interview earlier today, and we saw, perhaps, Wudi, you could say, the greatest image that's ever been put out into the universe all time. And some people may argue that, Paul, that's a little hyperbolic. What are you talking about? But to me, when I saw this, which I'm going to throw up on the screen right here, Wudi, just so everyone can see it. When I saw this, as I was listening live to the Pat McAfee interview, and Davante Adams popped on screen, rotating a football and hugging his boy Aaron Rodgers and saying, we are back, man. We are back. That just made me say, we lost to who? We're 2 and what now? Terrific. That's how I feel, baby.
Yeah, you should be ashamed. Let's put up Johnny Boy's comment. Let's put Johnny Boy's comment up on the screen, because Johnny Boy, let me tell you, you are not the only one. All right, you are not the only one whatsoever. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted.
Disgusted.
Yes, okay. Disgusted by all of the. You guys are pretty much cats. Did you see the cold open? All right, this team is a dumpster fire, and shine one little old man next to another old man. This photo right here, what is this photo of? It's a photo of 2 old men, and this is the greatest photo you've ever seen. Hey, I can show you a photo of my dad and my uncle. I can show you more old men if that's what really tickles your fancy. There is nothing, I mean nothing about this that should give us joy, because this season that we said, oh, Super Bowl or bust, all this nonsense is all done. It is done. DONE. That's what that season is to me. Done.
But why? It's we're heading into week 7, man. There's 18 weeks in the NFL regular season. We're not even halfway done yet.
Okay. And is Davante kicking field goals? Who's kicking? Can we who's kicking field goals?
Come on, man. Here's the plan.
Can he block? Because I know Tyron Smith can't. I know Tyron Smith can't block. What is Davante doing, bro? What is Davante doing? We had two receivers last night have 100 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think bringing another receiver is going to move the needle. What we need is somebody who's going to keep Aaron upright. What we need is somebody who's not going to hit the upright when they kick the field goal. What is Davante Adams doing for you guys?
It's simply this. I go to the other team and I say, hey, how many points do you think you can score tonight at the most? Pittsburgh Steelers are like, maybe 20. We're like, okay, we're going to score 40. That's it. Davante Adams we're going to outscore opponents. And our defense is good enough where they're going to be able to contain a team to a certain line. Let's call it 20 points, 23 points against Buffalo. And then you go win ball games. I mean, that's it. What do you mean? It's going to have such a massive ripple effect on everybody. Davante Adams, his hamstring is healed. He spoke on the Pat McAfee show, was asked. That was perhaps the full. So Davante Adams was on with Aaron Rodgers for like 2.5 minutes. It wasn't a very long time. And Pat McAfee, as Davante showed up on screen, tried to kind of machine gun a bunch of questions to him. And while he was there before he walked away, and they're all at the Jets facilities. And he said, oh, how's that hamstring? He's like, the Raiders people got me right. And fortunately, I'm ready to roll right now. So he's going to be good to go for the Steelers game. He's already in the building. Obviously, that's really important on a short week. Jets playing on Monday Night Football. And to me, Davante Adams is still is and is, as a matter of fact, one of the best wide receivers of this generation. His presence is going to draw the attention of opposing defenses. Every play, they need to know where 17 is, if that is his number. I have not seen that.
Malachi Corley,
get that damn jersey off right now, boy, and hand it over to the king. But whatever jersey he'll be wearing on Sunday is other teams are going to be like, damn, where's Davante? And Garrett is going to eat because he is no longer going to face the number one corners on other teams or have their direct attention anymore. And if he does, then Davante Adams is going to eat. So there will be those kind of immediate ripple effects. The chemistry with Rodgers to me is a big one. And this is why we could get into it in a little bit. We did see everybody the news that Amari Cooper has entered the AFC East. It's an arms race right now, which we could get to. Where the Buffalo Bills have acquired Amari Cooper. But Amari Cooper's a good example. He's a guy, I love him as a route runner. He's a really talented player, but he has no chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. So, that trade, while splashy, it lacks the same sizzle that this one has, because in theory, you can kind of mitigate the transition that it would take to acquire a player midseason, and how long would it take for them to get on the same page. Davante and Aaron are on the same page. They're best buddies. They've stayed connected. They've played a lot of years together. So that's going to be immediate. And those, you say, what difference is it going to make? Well, last 2 games, good old Mike Williams. Hey, Mike, I'm going to throw it up to you, buddy. You're going to throw it up where? Oh, intercepted against the Vikings. Hey, Mike. You know what play we're running, right, kid? Yeah, okay. Seems pretty clear to me. Okay, beautiful. All right, Buffalo game last night. Hey, Mike. And then, Rodgers apparently mid-throw goes, oh, shit, he's running the wrong route. And then it comes out, intercept. So where's it going to help? Well, those two games specifically, you win both of those games if Davante Adams is in. So I think he's going to have a tremendous impact. And for Garrett, I think it's great news for Garrett, who obviously – has put up some numbers the last couple of weeks, which is nice to see, but in the overall range has been in this funk. Davante Adams going to be there off the field, behind the scenes. There's just again, I can kind of do a rambling. It'll just be the Boy Green meets Boy Green show because I'd be talking about it all day. I just think there's going to be a lot of ripple effects here where Davante Adams has a tremendous impact on the team. He could teach some of the younger wide receivers. They're going to see how you're supposed to operate. And I use this Game of Thrones reference all the time. In Game of Thrones, they had these red priestesses, and their job was to spread the gospel of their religion in the game. I'm not going to go super deep into Game of Thrones, but they were supposed to spread the word and have a couple of those people all over town were like, oh man, I really agree with what they're saying up there. You know what? I do too. And you're just spreading the word. And when Aaron Rodgers said something, and then the rest of the room is like, well, okay. Davante's like, yeah, that's how you do it. He's like, oh shit, that's Davante Adams. Okay. Let's do it. So it's just spreading the gospel. So on the field,
you definitely spreading the gospel right now. Let me tell you, you spreading that gospel, spreading that Kool-Aid. Super happy. The happiest 2-4 team in football right now.
There it is.
The New York Jets fan base. We had this debate before, right? We talked about Davante, and honestly,
speculation, right? Yeah.
In my, I believe in my recollection, that was probably the most successful you've been in getting me to see it from your viewpoint. Like when we ended that episode, I was like, you know what? Davante's cool. As long as they don't give up, a second rounder or nothing. Yeah. You know what? I'm cool with Davante. But to have this type of jubilee, as if the Super Bowl, to me, the season, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. I already said last Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is a good question, Phil.
Yeah.
Let me just finish this sentence.
Go
real
ahead,
quick.
please. Go ahead.
Yes. Last week with that news, right? I feel like that was it. That was it. Super Bowl teams don't fire their coach mid-season. Okay. Right? We then saw that all of NFL history, they don't even make the playoffs. Right? Trying to be the first to do something. Couldn't even be the first team to hand the Bills their third consecutive loss under Sean McDermott. So I don't know. Does not look good whatsoever, but we can keep drinking that Kool-Aid because apparently it tastes good. I was trying to get you guys to see the light. Like, it's only 3 weeks. You guys were so upset about the Broncos. Oh, guys, it's so early. Now you guys are telling me 3 weeks later that it's so early. Wudi, it's so early. What do you mean? We only have to go 9-2 and we're great. Like, bro, please answer Phil's question, man. You guys are going to give me a heart attack on this show.
Yeah, so here is the deal on the Davante Adams trade with the Raiders. It is a conditional third-round pick for 2025. And here is how it elevates to a second rounder. Either of these, so for Hassan Reddick, that third round is in 2026. To achieve from third to second, he had to accomplish multiple things. So I just want to make sure that point of clarity is very clear. Hassan Reddick, for the Eagles to get that second, multiple things had to be checked off the bucket list. And if he accomplishes this, they'd get the second. I don't have to go down that diatribe. We can talk about that later. But Davante, what I'm about to tell you, for it to go to third to second, any of these things I'm about to say happens, it automatically transforms into a second. Number one, if Davante Adams is a first or second team all-pro wide receiver by the end of this, I don't know why I said wide receiver. That's his position. So all-pro of whatever position. But
might need him to play something else.
Hey, if he's first or second team all-pro, that third becomes a second. Again, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be very transparent here. I'm going to have to talk to more people to get a better sense of whether or not Davante will be able to achieve that halfway through a season after missing a bunch of games with the hamstring. And does he have to go crazy with Aaron Rodgers? So I don't know what that's going to mean yet. So let's put that one aside. And then the other thing, if this happens, either the all-pro thing or what I'm about to say, if he's on the roster and the active roster for the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl, that third becomes a second. I don't know why it says or. Like, I guess because if Davante was hurt in the AFC Championship game and technically wasn't active, they say, hey, you bastards aren't getting away with it. He's active for the Super Bowl. So maybe that's the loophole, I guess, as I talk myself through that. But long story short, it's a conditional third. It can become a second if he's either an all-pro or the Jets are in the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl, basically, is the way it goes. And the Jets eat the entirety of his contract. Now, the future years don't seem super important right now. We will see if that ends up changing later down the line. but they will eat it all for this year, which really we have to give a tip of the cap to Woody Johnson, because he's the one who's fronting that bill to make this possible. And the reason why more teams weren't in it for the Davante Adams sweepstakes is not a lot of people were willing to eat that large pile of money in the middle of a season. That just goes to show you how all in the Jets happen to be. And by the way, shout out to our number one Austrian Jets fan, who is even in our intro, baby. Every time we get a super chat, Zariah Luna chimes in.
Wow.
Davante freaking Adams, baby. There he is. So that is what we've given up for Davante. Want to make sure we got that in here. There's a lot happening. Again, a lot of ground to cover here on the show. We got 400 people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. Again, Davante Adams is a member of the New York Jets. And by the way, since we're just on trade compensation, the Bills have acquired Amari Cooper. It will cost them a third-round pick, and they're swapping late-round picks with the Cleveland Browns. Basically, they're moving up around. They're giving up a sixth. The Browns giving up a fifth. So they move up one round there, but basically give up a third-round pick to acquire Amari Cooper, and he's going to cost less than $1 million for the full season with how that contract structure ended up working out. So Amari Cooper, arms race in the AFC East. Jets say, yeah, here's our move. Bill's like, hold my beer. And there's their move. So a lot happening here as well. There's a lot of different areas to go, Woody. So I want you to guide us and tell us wherever you want to go next with all the ground we got to cover.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just want to say, a third round pick, which is pretty much a guarantee to remain a third round pick, is not bad. And that's what I said already, right? You convinced me. All right. You know what? That'll be fine. And it is fine. All right. I'm just saying I am not clearing my plans in February or January because I don't know how this moves that needle. That's what I'm saying. But yes, I would agree. Obviously, if Davante helps us get there, a second round pick was nothing, but we probably all gonna be on the couch. Anyway, you know what? Let's talk about it, because now obviously that room became very crowded, and somebody who was almost like a legend, with that Taylor ham, egg, and cheese.
Oof.
Right now, everybody hates it. It's so funny how fickle these people are, right? Even just a couple of weeks ago, people, Garrett is mid, Garrett's mid. Now everyone's talking about, imagine Garrett on the number 2 corner. Oh, my God, he's about to eat all day. You guys, I can't even keep up with your takes from week to week. So now, Mike Williams, he sucks. Get him out of here, right? And luckily for you guys that are saying that, the Jets are actually shopping him. And what's the return, do you think it's going to be? I feel like it's nothing. It's like a 5th round pick, some late round pick, something like that.
Yeah, it very well could be. Let's throw this up on the screen. Shout out to NFL insider Jordan Schultz, who said the Jets are planning to make wide receiver Mike Williams available for trade after acquiring Davante Adams. Williams signed a 1-year deal this offseason. The current receiver room is just too crowded. Long story short, he's set to make $10 million this year, but obviously that money is a little funky money because you have to figure out where he's going, when's he being moved, how quickly is this trade happening, all this other jazz. It's a good question for what could he be worth. The team that I would call up immediately if I'm the Jets is the New Orleans Saints. They were in the Davante Adams sweepstakes, so they were looking for a receiver. Rashid Shaheed apparently had a very serious injury over the weekend, so thoughts sent out to the Shaheed family. So there's a hole there at wide receiver. It's curious to see, are they willing to, they seem to be very aggressive in the Davante Adams trade sweepstakes despite Derek Carr's injury. Spencer Rattler showed some chutzpah certainly over the weekend. Would they still be looking to make some big splashy move of that nature? That'd be curious to know, but that would be a team I'd call on. And basically I'd call all the Ravens. I would call the Chiefs. Yeah, exactly. 100%. And let's investigate. Let's have some conversations. I'm surprised, quite frankly, the Raiders, they must just be like waving the flag on the season that they didn't, because Tom Telesco, their general manager, is the one who drafted Mike Williams in L.A., and he's now the operator of the ship there in Vegas. So it's kind of curious that wasn't part of the deal, but neither here nor there. I'd basically say, who was in the Davante Adams sweepstakes? Let's gather up all those numbers, and let's now return their phone call. Hey, you didn't get Davante, but consolation prize, Mike Williams. To your point, what's it worth? To me, a mid-round pick, maybe, like a 5th, a 4th if you squint. Maybe it's less than that, to be honest with you. But you need a desperate team. And again, do the Chiefs suddenly believe in Juju Smith-Schuster, or did just someone have to catch a football and he was a warm body that was there? You know what I mean? So maybe they just say, "Ooh, Mike Williams, we remember him for the Chargers. Let's have him catch a pass for Patrick Mahomes. That'd be a lot of fun." So I still think that there'd be enough interest to garner something, but we have to be realistic. I don't see an Amari Cooper third coming. I don't see the Davante Adams third coming. That feels a little bit rich for me. But Mike Williams obviously has not been on the same page as Aaron Rodgers for 2 straight weeks that resulted in game-ending interceptions. If you want to blame Rodgers, if you want to blame Mike Williams, I'll let you guys judge that. To me, I blame Mike Williams certainly for the one yesterday against the Vikings. I guess we could go back and forth on it. He probably should have been looking for the ball anyway. But yeah, to your point, fickleness, Taylor, egg, ham, sandwiches, all this other jazz. It is what it is, man. Mike Williams has not really gelled, and we're running out of time. He's on a 1-year deal. So if he's not gelling now, like, when is he going to gel? And you're going to burn that trust with Aaron Rodgers. He's burned Aaron Rodgers twice now, from what we understand, in those kinds of situations. That does not sound good. So, yeah, it looks like Mike Williams is not long for New York.
We're heading into week 7, boy Green. What do you mean? There's so many weeks. There's 11 weeks to gel, man. There's 11 weeks to gel.
There is 11 weeks to win the division. There's 11 weeks to make the playoffs. 11 weeks to gel. Like, Devante already is gelled, so I'm not worrying about gelling for Devante. I'm worried about Mike Williams.
Hey, you know I'm the expert on gel.
Oh,
you know I'm the expert on gel, man.
Oh yeah, wow. Okay.
Definitely Devante. No, and that's what I think is an upgrade for sure, right? Like Mike, I think he is a good talent. I think he's working his way back from the ACL. I guess it is what it is. And it's so funny. Another funny one, right, guys? That if it was up to y'all, he would have been burned at the stake, but allow me to show more love to my guy, the Jets leader in touchdowns. And I actually think the NFL leader, he actually might be tied for number 1 or number 2. Yes, Boy Green, please check. But he is among the league leaders in the entire NFL. Allen Lazard, a name that I've said time and time again, and you guys talking about, Lazard, bro, and now everyone is like, oh yeah, he's wide receiver 3. The people want Mike Will gone over Lazard.
So here it is, Wudi. He is tied for the league lead in touchdown receptions. Here are the guys on the list. There's a bunch of guys who apparently have 5. Jamar Chase, Chris Godwin, George Kittle, Mike Evans. How does Mike Evans and Chris Godwin on the same team each have 5 touchdowns?
Baker's balling. He's on my face. Baker's balling.
Baker is spreading the butter evenly on that bread. That's for damn sure. Wow. Okay. So again, Mike Evans, George Kittle, Chris Godwin, Jamar Chase, and Allen Lazard.
That's what I'm talking about. Look at him. That's the class. That's the caliber of receiver we talking about. Allen Lazard. You guys so thirsty for Kool-Aid. That's the Kool-Aid you should be drinking. Is the league leading touchdown receiver Allen Lazard's Kool-Aid. But instead, y'all out here chasing mirages. But yes, so I'm cool with Mike Williams. I mean, how can you
gave me a text in the middle of the game, by the way, on Allen Lazard. I really appreciated that. So I have my phone on Do Not Disturb during the game as I'm just taking notes and watching the game and stuff. And then on breaks, every once in a while, I'll go over to my phone and say, oh, is there like an emergency or something I have to address on a break? And then I saw ba-ding from Wudi, and I'm like, there he is. There he is.
Well, who better? I knew it. Once I saw the Hail Mary, I told my wife, she was on the couch. I said, I think Lazard got this. My man 6'5". Had it. So
you called the Hail Mary?
Yeah. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers.
That's true too. When I saw them only rushing 2 and guarding the sideline, I said to myself, you know what? F it. Just chuck it towards the end zone. It's Aaron Rodgers. And when he threw it, I'm like, oh my God, I think he caught that. So it's like and then the ball pops out, and the one ref's like, but it was fail. It was what do they call that? Fail Mary? Is that what was that the name for it?
Oh my God!
No, not that. That was, I guess. What was the Seattle Packers thing where it was like?
What did they call that? I don't even remember what they called it, but yes.
I need that now. Seahawks, Packers, ref replacement. What was that called? Let me see. Fail Mary. It was Fail Mary. Yeah, it was Fail Mary.
That was also called the Fail Mary?
Well, no, the other one, I think they called it Hail Mary or something. The Tim Boyle one. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But yeah, that is Fail Mary.
No,
that's okay. But the reason why I brought it up is because in that Fail Mary, one ref said touchdown, another ref said like he was doing this for like interception touchback, and then the refs go, okay, it's this. In this one, when I saw the one guy go, no, definitely incomplete, the other guy was like, whoop, and I'm like, hey, guy with your hands up. Like, don't fold because the other guy said incomplete and just go, okay, I'm sorry. No, you're right. No, he wouldn't know. That was a bleeping touchdown, man. And he talk. Okay, it was a touchdown. So I appreciate him standing his ground. That was very nice. So, yeah. But, yeah, that's what I said. I was like, damn. And I can't believe the Bills only rushed 2. What are you doing? Why are you covering the middle of the field? Well, it didn't matter. The Bills won, but
you know what? And I really don't want to. I know you already covered the game,
sure,
and everything. And I don't like criticizing officials. The players and the coaches get fined. I don't want to get just a random fine. But it's crazy, that the 2 touchdowns that the Jets had last night were both called not touchdowns by the officials on the field.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
It was just outrageous, especially Garrett's.
Come on.
The ref is right there.
That seemed clear as day.
That you're calling it out of bounds. It's just, oh my God. It was so tough to watch that game and watch that officiating. The flag was on the field every play, literally every snap. There was a yellow flag on that play. On the play, but just wanted to say that those refs should be saying with Salah right now. You know what I'm saying? Like they ruined the game.
They did, and again, I think there's stuff on both sides. CBW points out there's 11 penalties on both, over 200 yards. I'm saying this very stupid, but there's 200 penalty yards in total between the two teams. So again, apparently they just wanted to say hello to Mama on the TV a lot. I guess there was just way too much involvement from the officials again on both sides. There were some bad calls on the Jets. There were some questionable calls on Buffalo. So it certainly went both ways. There's no doubt about it. All right, Wudi, let's get to some other news, including here. Like the Hassan Reddick situation. Okay, so let's try to explain every layer of this. So, okay, Hassan Reddick, well, if we explain every layer of this, we'd be here all day. Let's stay with the most recent stuff. Hassan Reddick gets fired by his agency. CAA says, Reddick, blow me. Apparently, according to Ian Rappaport, the Jets offered a strong, that was his word, 1-year deal to Hassan Reddick. And CAA is like, yeah, this sounds great. And Reddick's like, doesn't to me. And CAA is like, F this. And apparently CAA would call Reddick on the side, like call him to try to get updates or something. He would ignore their phone call. So they just said, F you. We're not going to do this anymore. They separate. So Hassan Reddick has no agent. Then on Sunday, he hires Drew Rosenhaus. Everybody knows Drew Rosenhaus, for better or for worse. And he's there. What immediately comes out from Drew Rosenhaus via Adam Schefter shared the news is, we want to work on a long-term deal. We've already started talking to the Jets. We're like, whoa, mama, okay. Hassan Reddick, come on down, baby. Apparently Woody's going all in, and this is obviously before the Davante Adams news. Okay, he's coming in. This is great. I'm not sure how I feel about a long-term deal, but Reddick coming in, that's good news for us. That sounds great. Now, we heard that from Diana Rossini this morning. Here's her quote. Quote, the Jets have given Hassan Reddick and his reps a short window to seek a trade per sources. His new representation, Drew Rosenhaus, has been reaching out to teams over the last 12 hours to gauge interest. Now we're all like, well, okay, I guess Reddick does not want to be here. I guess he's going somewhere else. Okay, Jets, get what you can. He's going to be traded. Well, Drew Rosenhaus now speaks today and says, let me share my side of the story, apparently. And here are some of the nuggets. It's a 5-minute interview, so we won't play it here on the show, but I'll give you the highlights of that conversation. And it was this. according to Drew Rosenhaus, Hassan Reddick is extremely flexible, direct quote, and trying to work out a long-term deal with the Jets. He wants to be there for many years to come, Drew Rosenhaus says, and he predicts that Reddick will be playing for the New York Jets here in 2024. Here was his other quote. I didn't get hired here for him to miss the season, saying like, he's playing. He's playing one way or another, and that's what he said. You will see Hassan Reddick playing football this year, and hopefully it's with the Jets, which gives a little bit of credence to some of those trade rumors, because if he's not playing for the Jets, then he wouldn't play for anybody unless the Jets traded him. So a lot of winding roads here, Woody. I don't know if you can quite give us the temperature here. What's the truth in your mind? Because at first we hear Hassan Reddick wants to be with the Jets long-term. Then we hear the trade stuff. Then we hear he wants to be here long-term. It's very herky-jerky. You predicted way back when that Reddick would never play a down for the New York Jets. Are you sticking by that? Or are you calling a quick audible at the line of scrimmage here, Aaron Rodgers, based on new information you're seeing on the defense? Can.
That's a good question. That last one, I'm gonna save that for last because it's such a good question. I gotta think about it. I gotta talk myself into the answer.
Sure.
So temperature wise, I actually think Hassan's stance, kind of like how the Jet stance hasn't really changed. I feel like Hassan's hasn't really changed. He wants to get paid like Nick Bosa, right? He wants to get, and he's produced at that level, top 5 level. He wants top 5 money. CAA probably was telling him, yo, this is a good deal. It's not top 5, but it's a good deal. Get paid this 1 year and you're good to go. And he's like, nah, F that. I want my money. Like I want, what I've earned.
Sure.
Right. And I think that's their disconnect. And now Drew has him saying, hey, we're going to get you back out there. And I think that's why the trade window is open, because now they're looking for leverage. They're looking for a team that is willing to pay what he wants.
Yes.
And if they can do that, now they can go back to Joe Douglas and was like, all right, well, if you're not going to pay him this top dollar, then we're going to send him over here and they will pay him. If that comes back, and I think that's the short window, right? If they come back and there's no biters, I don't know what's going to happen. Because at that point, there's really nothing he can do. Like he's dead. Like that's it. That's it. You got to play on the shorter contract, on the smaller contract.
Right. The year that he has remaining. Correct. Whatever these games are. Right. Correct. Yeah.
Exactly. So for Hassan, he's definitely put himself in a corner. If there are no biters, and I would imagine there's not. I mean, now, the media has not painted him to be the hero of this story or the martyr that he feels like he is in his mind. And he's 30, right? Which is another famous, just general blanket statement. People don't overpay for 30-year-old men unless we talking about Davante Adams. But anyway, that's something different. So Hassan, is he going to play for the Jets? Now I'm getting back to that original question.
Yeah. Based on this information from Drew Rosenhaus today, again, he joined, and excuse me, I should have given credit for these quotes. I apologize. This is a new show called The Facility. It's on FS1 with Emmanuel Akko, LaShawn Shady McCoy, James Jones, excuse me, and Chase Daniels. So a bunch of former NFL players all doing a show together again. That's an exclusive. So shout out to The Facility. Again, my apologies for that full interview there.
I'm gonna have to say.
Okay, while you're still thinking,
I think he might. I really think he might.
While you're still thinking, I just want to answer another question because a lot of people have questions about this. How late can Reddick report and still have this year count? That is week 13. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport confirmed that on Sunday. That is the week after the Jets bye. So the Jets have a bye in week 12. So we could just show you the whole schedule here. Week 11, Sunday Night Football against the Colts. Week 12 bye. Week 13, Seattle Seahawks. From Week 13 Seahawks onward, the Jets have 6 games remaining in the regular season, including Seattle. So Reddick has to be there by Week 13 in that Seattle game. If he is not, his contract tolls and the Jets own his rights heading into next year. If he shows up anywhere from now till then, like it doesn't matter, like he could show up this week or next week or whatever, then he will play out the rest of this year. And then he will be eligible to be an unrestricted free agent. I severely doubt the Jets would tag him in any way, but you don't want to roll anything out and make assumptions. So he would be scheduled to be an unrestricted free agent if he shows up anywhere from now through week 13 to be able to do it. But the latest he could do it, to answer your question, CBW, is week 13. He must report and be ready to go.
You know what? I think he will play. I think what's going to happen.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Is that they're going to see that no one is going to give him the money that he wants, right? So
That's
he's going to see like, oh my God, I can't. This is probably one of the best deals I can get. Mm-hmm. And then on the Jets side, Will McDonald, he missed some snaps last week, right? Due to injury. Like, Jermaine, has his Achilles. Will got banged up. I mean, Clemens, you've seen that last play, maybe a better edge rusher would have been able to contain Josh Allen on that last drive and give Aaron another chance to throw maybe another game-losing interception. But, we didn't even have that opportunity because Clemens, just being out of position. So the Jets should recognize that they need Reddick. That's what I've been saying from the beginning, right? They need Reddick. They've needed each other this whole time, but no one wants to give up their stance. So, we're in this deadlock. But I think in the end, they're both going to realize that they need each other, and he's probably going to show up on a lesser deal.
Yeah, that's my gut too. Hey, explore the rest of the league. Sure, if a great trade emerged, like the Lions, let's use a random example. If the Lions showed up and said, hey, man, we just lost Aiden Hutchinson, we will give you, I'm making this up, so this is completely hypothetical, people. We'll give you a first-round pick right now for Hassan Reddick. Either Jets will go, see ya, Hassan. You're gonzo. But if, they seek a trade and even if they because the key ingredient is that Drew Rosenhaus has said it multiple times, they want a long-term deal. If someone else is willing to do the long-term deal, it kind of brings me back to that Lamar Jackson restricted free agent sort of business where teams were afraid of giving a contract offer to Lamar that the Ravens would just match. They figured out the problem. So if a team wanted Hassan Reddick and said, here, we'll give you this multi-year deal, and they bring that multi-year deal back to the Jets, are like, that's pretty good. Yeah, we'll take it. All right. Here's your long-term deal, Reddick. Here's the same contract you negotiate with another team. So I think other teams might be nervous, quite frankly, to even negotiate if they were going to for that reason, which I find kind of interesting. But I think what really is going to happen is what you just said. They're going to look around the league, as they've been doing apparently for the last 24 hours. No one's going to be willing, just like no one was willing back in March, and they're probably even less willing now here in the middle of October, not knowing what kind of shape Hassan Reddick's going to be. And they're like, nah, F that. We're not giving you any money. And then they come back to the table and go, shit, no one's willing to give us the money. And that's where maybe, to your point, you're just kind of forced up against it. You have no other choice. If he's playing football this year, which, again, Drew Rosenhaus said, I didn't come here for him not to play, then he can suit up for the rest of the season with the Jets. But to me, I don't get the benefit of waiting till week 13 if they hit the harsh reality that he can't be traded, that there's no end game from that perspective. To me, it doesn't make sense to wait till week 13 because now you're just hurting your own value. Because if you're going to show up, you might as well show up as soon as possible to pad your stats so you look as good as possible, potentially heading into free agency.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, what we all can agree on,
okay,
I guess besides Hassan himself, is that he has handled this whole thing horribly. Like almost the worst. Like if you could manufacture the worst possible way to handle this, the only thing worse that Hassan could have done is publicly, curse out Joe Douglas or do something, just go overboard like that. But in terms of being silent, he's handled this the worst possible way. So yeah, it would be nice for him to show up as early as possible. I still think usually if somebody's this stubborn, we're this far into it, I would imagine it will be very close to the week 13. Like he will still be trying. No, there's a way. No, trust me, Drew. No, ask him again. Call him again. So I do not expect to see him. And not only that, I'm not expecting, top edge rusher Hassan to show up. He's been out of work, and, yeah, you can be in good shape, but that's not the same as football shape, So even when he does show up or if he shows up, so I'll say that, even if he shows up,
yeah,
I mean, is he even going to be better than Clemens? Of course, the whole chat is going to be like, hell yeah, Clemens sucks. But, I don't know.
And let me say this. This is the other news from today. Like I said, it's just an overwhelming amount of news. Here is a secret clause in the Hassan Reddick original trade. We all thought, oh, okay, simple enough. Eagles give us Hassan Reddick. Hey, Eagles, you get a 2026 conditional third if he appears in at least 67.5% of the snaps and gets double-digit sacks. That's a 2. Deal done. Whoop, whoop. Handshake, that's what we thought. Well, according to Justina Anderson, our NFL insider today, she says, actually, there was an extra clause in the contract that was not publicly reported. And that is this, that if apparently the Eagles work this in, which, by the way, again, I want to reiterate that if I'm the Jets and they say, oh, yeah, one more thing, we want to just add this clause in, that would have been a major red flag. Why? Why do you want to add this? What's going on? And this is if the Jets trade Hassan Reddick to an NFC team, half of the league, obviously, 32 teams, 16 NFC, 16 AFC. If the Jets turn around and trade Hassan Reddick to anyone in the NFC, that third rounder that's conditional automatically becomes a second rounder, and it doesn't matter any of the other assets, obviously. So, the Josina Anderson nugget is this. So the Jets now have 2 choices if they're seriously exploring this trade waters. Number 1, say, well, our market just got cut in half. I guess we only have 16 teams to trade with because we're not going to automatically give up a second. Hey, anyone in the AFC looking for a Hassan Reddick? That cuts your market in half. That probably makes it even more difficult because I don't even know what the list would be in general if you had the full amount of teams. Or you take the best offer, whether it's the Lions. They're a team that lost Aiden Hudson, obviously, that you would think in theory they might be in the conversation. Wherever the best offer is, you're like, I don't care if it's the Lions. I don't care if it's the Jaguars. Whoever it is, whoever has the best offer, that's where he's going, regardless of pick, and you can decide it that way. But that adds now another layer to the puzzle on this Hassan Reddick situation. And I did not include this in the article I wrote about Hassan Reddick earlier, but the Jets are blocked from trading him back to the Eagles. That is illegal according to the NFL rulebook. So, that was a popular, trade him for Bryce Huff. Let's just do a switchies. A take back skis. Well, that is illegal. The Jets couldn't give Hassan Reddick back to the Eagles until like 2 years cleared. So so you can't do something tricky of like trying to trade someone and then trade it back later, like some sort of backhand back building deal of trying to do something shady. So yeah, they can't trade him back. It's blocked. The NFL would not allow that trade to go through. So if you trade him to the NFC, and now instead of having 16 choices, you have 15 choices because one is automatically off the board. So there's a lot of extra hoopla, long story short, to this noise.
Definitely. that is inarguable, the hoopla. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I have been a loud supporter of, Hassan, please just showing up to work. Needed him on the edge, and that was with Jermaine Johnson. I was like, we need Hassan Reddick. Jermaine, we lost Jermaine week 2. And, Will he has definitely exceeded my expectations. I have no problem giving flowers when flowers are earned. But Hassan would definitely make a big deal if he was in shape, though. So that's another thing. Like, I don't even know what Hassan exists right now. And in that same vein, can we just, and you could have talked about it earlier today.
Okay.
Tyron Smith, man. Tyron Smith, man. It's this. What's going on? What's going on? What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Obviously, I've been very vocal about it. I was a loud advocate to bring Tyron Smith in here. I thought that would complete the offseason in a lot of ways for the Jets. Not complete. That's the wrong way to say it. Like, adding him to the puzzle opened up other things. So, you wouldn't go into the draft saying, oh, Jesus, we need a left tackle no matter what. Like, if you got him, you could figure out a right tackle solution, which obviously ended up being Morgan Moses, and it just really opened up your optionality. That's probably the better way to say it. And I said Tyron Smith's a Hall of Famer. And again, the only question, it seemed like on the surface, was health. Like, if he's healthy, he's great. If he's not, well, he's unavailable, and thus you had to figure something out. That seemed to be the only problem. Tyron Smith has given up 4 sacks so far this season through 6 games. That is more sacks than he's given up in a full season since 2019. So, think about that for a second. So, full season, 17 games for the last couple of years, and then 16 games. 2019 is the last time he had given up this amount of sacks in a full year. And obviously, it hasn't been a full year. It's only been the first 6 games. And one of the most demoralizing plays in the game was when Aaron Rodgers got whacked because A.J. Epinesa, and if you people don't know who that is, I don't blame you. He's a solid guy. He's not a Aiden Hutchinson. He's not a Hassan Reddick. He's nothing like that. But he's just a solid NFL player. He pistol whipped Tyron Smith to the ground and immediately smacked Aaron Rodgers. And I was just like aghast. I was appalled. My jaw was on the floor. When that happened, I'm like, no way that just happened. And I'm like, maybe there's another 77 on the team I'm unaware of that randomly was in the same play playing left tackle for the Jets. And I'm like, boop, 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 boop. Little TiVo action. Oh, wait, actually not. No, that is indeed Tyron Smith. It's jaw dropping. And here's the problem. I'm seeing all kinds of people saying, just bench Tyron Smith. Okay. He is a Hall of Famer. And there are certain people you can bench that stink, like Michael Clemens, right? A lot of people are like, bench Michael Clemens. Okay, they could do that, and no real feathers will be ruffled. He has not performed well. Tyron Smith, you lured here. This is a guy that's going into Canton. He's going to have a bust in Canton, Ohio. This is a situation in my mind that you can't just throw this guy aside. You have to try to figure it out with him. Everyone's saying, just plug in Olu Fashanu. What, Tyron Smith's on the bench? Like, maybe that is the difficult answer to get to, but I'm not there yet. But I am just flabbergasted by Tyron Smith's play. It's unacceptable. It's put Aaron Rodgers in compromising positions, obviously, and so far he's been able to survive it, but he's been grimacing a lot on the field after a lot of these hits, and he's not going to survive them all. Again, I repeat, this isn't someone said, accused me of doing fear tactics before and trying to scare America and scare Jet fans. I don't know about all that. All I'm saying is just speaking the truth. And if Aaron Rodgers is getting hit like that, he's not making it through the season. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just trying to state fact. And that's what it is. And hopefully it's an inspiring message because Aaron Rodgers is still alive and ripping around out there. He's fine right now as I'm selling you this message. It's not an epitaph. I'm not speaking at Aaron Rodgers' football funeral here. I'm telling you to prevent that. I am the ghost of Christmas future. I'm like, hey, man, don't make that choice or this is going to happen. I'm trying to help. And please, for everything in their power, we need Tyron Smith to play better. And if he doesn't, again, maybe that's a Jeff Ulbrich difficult decision. I'm trying to figure out what to do because Olu Fashanu obviously is a long-term lifer at left tackle. So playing right tackle has been difficult for him because it's something he hasn't normally done. He's a lot more natural on the left side, but they got Tyron Smith. So what do you do? So to me, they got to figure out, is he battling an injury? Is there some reason for why Tyron Smith has been struggling? Because they need to be better. Individually, all of these players look really talented, look really good, but obviously as a unit, they have not played well together consistently.
Yeah, they might have to bench him. That whole Hall of Fame. Frank Gore is a Hall of Famer. He's getting a bust in Canton. But ain't nobody was saying, you got to keep Frank Gore out there with the Adam Gase Jets. This is where so many Hall of Famers have come to die. So many talented players have come to die. And Tyron Smith, he's dead. I'm telling you, he is dead. Because this is Thriller. That's what he's doing out there. Just getting mollywomp by the opposing defensive line. I would give Olu a shot because, like somebody said in the comments, Aaron, it only takes one, right? It takes one hit. And Aaron could be gone for the season. You got to keep him upright. You got to put your best foot forward, right? You got to put your best foot forward, and you got to stop playing contracts, play the best players. That's what it is. So, Tyron is cool. And even his contract, we knew, right? It's so incentive laden. If you do this, you get that. If you do this, you get that. But guess what? What he has done is allowed the most sacks. Right, the stat that Boy Green just said that I will literally have a heart attack if I try to repeat it as beautifully.
Yeah, don't. It's probably for the best. Yeah, don't say it again. Don't put it out into the universe.
It might be time. I that's where I'm going with. It might be time. You got to play the best players. That's why Lazard is out there on the field every snap because we got to play the best players. Olu Fashanu, get him out there left tackle because Tyron Smith is getting our boy. And when I say boy, I mean that 40-year-old man, oldest player in the league. getting him killed.
It seems that way. Wudi, a jam-packed show with all of this breaking news left and right with Mike Williams trade rumors, Hassan Reddick trade rumors, Davante Adams, no rumors. He is official. The Jets announced that at the beginning of our show that trade has officially gone through, physical, passed, and everything. By the way, Davante Adams flew in last night. Aaron Rodgers learned of the trade at 12:30 in the morning when he drove back to his house after the game. He ignored some calls and texts from Davante, and he got home and went, oh, whoops, nope. The calls and texts were about getting traded to the New York Jets and it being officially unofficial last night and then official today. And he was already in the building 5 minutes after the trade was, rumored out on social media. He was in the building goofing around with teammates and things of that nature. So here we are, Wudi. It's going to be a wild ride, and I'm looking forward to it because our third-party Thursday, we have to turn the page quickly. This Jets-Bills game, I know, feels so fresh yesterday, less than 24 hours ago. But the Jets are moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the pressure is now on acquiring a guy like Davante Adams. This feels like do or die in Pittsburgh. You're at 2-4. 2-5 versus 3-4 sound a lot different. To me, I heard NYJ Matt say this, and I was saying this on the radio earlier. The Jets season is now a 2-game season right now. You're at Pittsburgh and at New England over the next 2 weeks. You win both of those games, you're 4-4, you're back at 500, and we reset halfway through the season, essentially. Not quite, but halfway through the season where you're 4-4, and then let's make a run. If things go a different direction, we're having a different conversation, long story short. So all the focus is on Pittsburgh. It's a tough place to play. It's an iconic venue, an iconic team. Mike Tomlin's an awesome coach, and it sounds like we could even get Russell Wilson, who could be the starter this week. I saw that just coming in from CBW. Yes, that apparently Mike Tomlin opened up the door. And when he opens up the door, he normally doesn't do it for accidents. So Russell Wilson could be making his Steelers debut coming up on Sunday against the Jets defense, which, again, we could get into more on Thursday. We'll have the great Alex Kozora, who covers the Pittsburgh Steelers for the Steelers Depot. Everyone in Pittsburgh knows that man. He's one of the best Steelers insiders, analysts, and everything in the business, and we'll be getting the full scoop ski potato on that game coming up on Sunday Night Football. Davante Adams making his primetime debut and Jets debut in general for the New York Jets. It should be a doozy. Any final thoughts, Wudi?
It's a tough life, man. It's a tough life. If you're a New York fan, where there's so many different, types of Jets fans out there, that are just with the Jets, or, if you're like me, all New York, everything. I hope your baseball team does not let you down. Mine is the Mets. They were phenomenal yesterday.
Yeah.
Yankees play tonight. So, October, please don't put your mental health in the hands of Woody Johnson. All right. That's my PSA. All right, for those who are New York sports born and bred, do not put your mental health in that man's hands because the man, he don't know nothing. He don't know nothing. All right, so trust your baseball team. Your baseball team is doing great, whether it's the Yankees or the Mets. Look at some Knicks highlights. All right, Cat. They call him Bodega Cat. All right, there is life out there. All right, there are so many things to look at. Jalen Brunson smiling, all this. There's so much positivity out there. Please know that the grass is green on the other side. You don't have to look at this dumpster fire and be like, this is my life. Just look to the left. Look at that baseball team. Look at that basketball team and turn your frown upside down.
There it is. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow morning with a Boy Green Daily. Nick Ferrier, our Jets reporter, will be joining us. And I also, look both ways, have a special bonus interview that could be coming. So, guys, keep an eye out for that. And let me just say, cough, cough, Davante Adams related. And just let that marinate on the back burner. And that interview should be up for some early access potentially. That interview has not happened yet, but early access could be coming for Boy Green Coffee Club members. So, guys, make sure you're staying tuned to that. Shout out to the 600 people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, whether you watch live or after the fact. Me and Wudi are live every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 o'clock. So make sure you guys show your love. We appreciate it. And, hey, maybe next time we got even more breaking news to talk about. Could be a lot of fun. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. God bless. Wudi, we'll see you in a couple days, buddy.
Absolutely. JETS. Jets.
Always interesting. Thanks, everybody.